Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at a new tier list for the current Shadowverse meta. We will cover every deck from the meme decks to the strongest meta contenders. If you enjoy Shadowverse content, definitely drop a like, hit that subscribe button and let's jump into it. Alright, let's kick things off with tier 4. So we start with this Rose Queen midrange combo list. To be honest, kinda meme deck. Tries to navigate through the mid game to cast the opponent Rose Queen and then the game the next turn with a bunch of bramble bars. To be honest, a meme deck. Nothing much to say about it. Next on the list is Ambush Ward, a mid-range deck that tries to make use of ambush effects. To be honest, it's just a worse mid-range sword. Let's move to tier 3, and here we have a Tempo Forest. Think of it as a less combo heavy version of the classic Roach deck. It can still do some tricks with the Roach. It still has the one-turn combo, but it also plays like a normal mid-range. And the Control 11 is next, just a typical slow control deck, plays for the long game and tries to end the game with a big threat like Cochitus. Then we have a Face Dragon, basically the evolution of the old meta Storm Dragon, and is an aggro deck packet with the Storm card. It wants to close the game fast using direct damage. Mm, it's okay, but honestly, Abyss aggro just does it better. Our last tier 3 is Storm Haven, which is a pretty good deck, to be honest. I was debating till the last moment to put it in the tier 2 bracket. Keep an eye on it, because Agnes is a very, very strong addition. Very good deck. We will test it for sure. Maybe I will do a video on it on the channel. Welcome to tier 2 bracket. We are finally getting into the good stuff, and let's talk about this Ramp Dragon. It's a really cool deck, honestly, I love it. It's a bit weak to aggro, and maybe a bit draw dependent, but when you draw the nut, it's crazy. It ramps into the end game. Fanny halves the card. You can sometimes drop 2 Genesis Dragon Ball in a turn. You can do crazy stuff with this deck. Definitely keep an eye on it. New cards might turn it in a really really good deck. And even now I think it's a pretty decent deck. And next on the menu we have Earthrune. It's a pretty solid deck. You basically play only your Earth package, and you have the board wipes. You still play Anne and Kugon because also as a standalone without the spell boost, the power level is very high. You have a crazy tempo play with Elderways. Norman is very 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 strong. And also Lillantium is a very good card. I was debating if adding a third one, because once you put her on the board, it's very hard to wipe her out with the insane amount of Earth Sigil you're going to create. So solid deck, not on top of the meta, but strong versus aggro. I like it. And here we have the old and good Roach combo. If it fell off a bit compared to the last meta where it was a clear tier 1, it still has the plus of having a good matchup into rune boost, but not much was added for this deck, just the ambush from above and the new drawer. And they are playing a monocopy of Limaga, she can be an annoying card. Can be a good deck for a beginner, because the cost is pretty low now. Only one legendary card is needed, so still a solid deck. If you need a cheap option, is a good one. Next up is Puppets. What can I say? The deck is pretty good. It has access to Orchis, which is still one of the best cards in the game. We can't argue about that. The support in this new expansion wasn't that strong, because Sway is a good card, but is not this phenomenal card. Still, still a good one. I'm not saying it's bad, but the deck to stay in the tier 1 bracket needed something more, let's say. This spell is good. I saw some list not playing, but in my opinion it is a good one, a nice addition. Is very good into water creature decks. Is maybe it has the minus of having a pretty bad matchup against Rune spell boost. That is keeping me this deck out of the tier 1. Aggro Sword. This is basically just a more fast-paced version of the midrange sword. He plays Kagemitsu. Albert is still a really broken card. I will talk later with midrange aggro about the new addition. I think this is pretty good. You can decide to cut Kagemitsu and put something else. I don't know, maybe the third rose, the third amelia, the third flash step, field out, something like that. Just play with the curve. And if you don't want to craft Kagemitsu but play a more aggro-paced version. Deck is pretty good to grind point on the ladder because it's faster than the normal mid-range sword, but for sure is less solid. Enter the game with the tentacles, centaur, or the usual 12 damage super evolved Albert that is broken, one of the strongest cards in the game in my opinion. Very good deck, top tier to grind the ladder in my opinion. And here it comes the word Haven, guys. The most debated deck I heard during the first days of the meta when the expansion was freshly released. People cry about the ban. The deck was overpowered. A lot of random stuff. The deck is just a tier 2. It's an okay deck. I mean, it's not bad, but for sure it's not overpowered. It's just a tier 2. Very, very strong against aggro, but is outlaws against rune spellboost most of the times. Okay, we can argue that when the deck does Wilbert into Aether into Jeanne is very strong, okay, but not every match you can draw the perfect curve, and the deck when it does not draw the perfect curve is significantly worse. So it's an okay deck, a meta call for sure. If you find a lot of aggro, is the perfect deck. But just a tier 2 solid deck, I like it. But nothing too crazy. And welcome to tier 1 bracket. Finally we see the good stuff, the best decks in the game. And we start with this aggro abyss. I know you saw it on the ladder, it's everywhere. It's very good to grind the ladder points. It's a bit draw dependent. We can argue that the deck is draw dependent because you need drop 1, drop 2, you need to curve out. There is and sometimes if you draw too many low spell, you can't finish the game. The deck is for sure draw dependent, but the power is here. The deck is very strong. Odin is a crazy card in this deck. Excel is very good. I expect a lot from this card in the future because for how the game works is an insane card in aggro strategies. What can I say? Good deck. Very good to grind the ladder. It's not my type of deck because I don't like these aggro only strategies, but I have to say it's good. Tier 1 for sure. You can beat Spellboost. He has a terrible matchup into Wardaga, but against the rest is very playable, very good against Rune Spellboost, and that alone is a big thing. So tier 1. Midrange slash control abyss. I will put the two variation of the deck in the same group because more or less the deck is this one. He swaps just a bunch of cards. It's a very good card. Deck, sorry. Sharon is a very nice addition. Jinjetsu and Yuzuki is probably the best 9-drop in the game actually. Board wipe plus body is very good. If you don't need to board wipe, you just get a full board. Very good deck. Cerberus is still on top of the one of the best cards in the game. Undead Soldier is pretty good. I like Rotting Zombie. It's a good card. Sharon super evolving and putting again in play Rotting Zombie is such a good play. I love Sharon. Very good card. I added a mono Ceres. I don't know what is the right pronunciation to fight a bit aggro because it's very good. You can add another one if you are facing a lot of aggro abyss in the ladder. Olivia is mandatory in three copy because you need to draw cards. Olivia and also a mono soul predation. You need to draw card in this deck. There is no you can't play three Olivia. So keep that in mind while toggling around because the list is very switchable. But you need for sure three Olivia. Artifacts. Very good deck. What can I say? As you can see, it's my favorite deck. I'm spending all my orbs on artifact shiny cards. I think is the fact that he can adapt so well his gameplay is so good. You can create the artifact you need. If you need the if you need to gain life, you create the alpha. If you need to do damage to your opponent, you create the beta. Or if you need a board wipe, you create the epsilon, gamma. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So very good deck. Is the fact that it can adapt so well is very good. I think it has a decent matchup almost in everything. Also, you can create the Gundam to end the game. Deck is here. A lot of good cards to add gears. A lot of good plays like Karura, that is a Maskilo once it's super evolved. Orkis, like I said, very good. Ralmien to triple artifact is still an insane plane. Yes, for sure on top of the meta. Midrange sword. For me, is a contender for the best deck in the game at the moment. It has such a good card quality. I don't really love this card seria. I know it's played to combo out Virose decent against aggro, but I don't know. I don't really love this card. I would probably cut one for the third samurai for sure. For the rest, the deck is really solid. The power level is over the roof. Gildaria is such a nice addition. Free, once you complete the rally, having a free super evolved is very good. Board wipe, good board wipe. Albert, as I said before, 12 damage, turn 9 Albert is insane. I don't know. 12 damage once is super evolved into a small board wipe is insane. Amelia, another broken card. I'm trying the Mono Yunus, Urius, sorry. It's good. I'm not too sold on it, but it's not bad. It's for sure situational. I'm still testing it. It has some good use. Can lock the board for spell boost. Is now that is putting the earth token, putting locking it to to space is pretty good now. When you want to do his Shinigami plays, is good against spell boost for that thing. I like it. I'm testing it. Amalia is very strong. The power level is crazy. Amalia is strong. Gino, the Magus against aggro is insane. Very good deck. Not sure. This is just a stock list. Not sure it's the best one. I saw someone cutting the Gino. For sure, I would cut one area and go to 3 samurai. Prim is another addiction that I like very much. Another value card. This deck can basically outvalue all the meta because the, the value in the cards is so high that can outvalue basically anything. Very good deck. Top deck contender. Solid option. Top deck. Nothing much to say. Probably is on the top of the tier 1 bracket for sure. And yes, guys, we have a tier 0 format in my opinion. Spellboost Hybrid being the top deck of the meta is just very good. It's basically like the old Spellboost, but is splashing the Earthright package to deal better versus aggro aggression, early aggression, sorry. Norman is such a broken card. So good. You can spend one evolve point and gain back 8 life, draw 6 card, or summon double Guardian Golem and give with barrier. Very good card, nice addition. Lillanti can be a bit of an overkill. You can cut it, put the third William. But yes, the deck is our tier 0. We can argue that swordcraft is a contender, but in my opinion, this is just the best deck in the game. It feels like you can win every match while playing this deck. Is for sure in my opinion, because all the tier list, of course, is only my take, my opinion. In my opinion, this is the tier 0 the format. No doubt about it. Let's see what my tier list looks like. We have the meme decks, the tier 3, the solid option in the tier 2, the top of the meta in the tier 1, and the big boy, big bad boy of the meta, hybrid spellburst. In my opinion, the best deck around. Let me know in the comments if you would move something up or down. Let me know. This, as I said before, is just my opinion. What I feel like after playing a lot of matches on the ladder. And I will play for sure the SVO Open this weekend. I was unfortunately unable to play the first one because after 3 hours of wait I was put out of the tournament. But I'm sure everyone already heard about the total disaster that the first SVO was. But I'm pretty confident that the mods will fix it. I see a good response by the mods. I think it will be good from the next one. They move it back on Battlefy. So that's all for me. Don't forget to put a like, subscribe, and more content is on the way. Let me know in the comments, and see you in the next video.